I still need to finish that shit, you guys. But
No,
we're
man, I'm
back.
telling you, that thing bumping. That thing is
Uh,
bumping. You don't need to change it. It's bumping
I
to
just need to
me.
add to it.
Let
We
it
could bump a
ride.
little longer. We could bump a little longer.
All
Bump
right.
for about 30 seconds. Have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I can tell you
this is it.
this.
Oh yeah. What are you gonna tell me?
Every time we play that, and then I watch one of the other CPN videos, I cringe when I see the regular countdown timer now. Like
I
I'm
know,
not
right?
even playing. Like I'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even
Exactly.
think it needs to be a full. I don't even think it needs to be like a full 30 seconds. It's like 20, something smooth and even. A smooth place to come out. But getting a little ahead of
Mhm.
ourselves. So thank you for coming out. Please like and subscribe. This is Third and Teal. My name's Isaiah, aka Duval's finest. As always, we got our boy Trevor on the show, but we also got our boy Eric on the show. But we're gonna kick it off to the guest today, Duval TV on the channel. How about you kick us off, man? How you doing?
Good, fellas. I appreciate you guys having me on to chop it up, man. Appreciate it. Third and Teal, baby. What's up?
Yes, sir. Glad to have you. Thanks for coming out. Always a good sign to get a fellow Jags fan on the channel. Coming out talking about it. Not a lot of people taking us up on it right now, but I think we'll get more and more. And you're welcome anytime. Just let us know, or we'll let you know. Or we'll be at the games. Are you season ticket holder as well? I'm assuming.
I'm actually expecting my third child this year in December. So
Oh,
No.
I'm taking this year out, but I was last year, and I have been many years. And my
I
father
got you.
many years, and you know how it goes.
Oh yeah, well, congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Appreciate
I
it.
know
Yeah.
I have a friend at work. She's a supervisor. She's taking off this year as well because she's having her first baby. Definitely something. Yeah, just don't be one of those fans that brings your brand new infant out into the 115-degree heat.
Well, I'll tell you, my dad actually, we're planning to go to the Green Bay game
Okay.
when it cools off. He actually
Yeah.
plan for when it cools off. We're going to go to the Green Bay game. That should be a fun one. Got Jordan Love coming to town. Trevor Lawrence will be there.
Hell yeah, I'll be there. We'll have the whole crew. You can see Eric
Yeah.
get out there. But all right, well, let's kick it on over to Trevor. How you doing, brother?
Hey man, I'm doing great. Speaking of things we've been working on, things coming in the future. Third and Teal's on Instagram. Third and Teal's on TikTok. We are spreading out, branching off. This past weekend at the stadium, we had a couple more people recognize me out there, and I'd shout out to you guys for that. A couple more people extend some great advice, good things. There's been a lot of positivity from Duval, man. It just shows that while we're the best team and fan base in the AFC South, like I can't state it enough. The love we get on this channel is literally insane. Like it's been 4 months, guys, like 5 months maybe now, and we're almost at 220 subs. We're almost over 120,000 channel views already. The growth and love is insane. Thank you, guys.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you.
What's going on, Eric?
Oh, ain't nothing going on, man, but the same old, and, Jaguar football, and, we have some good times, and we talk football all the time, man, and we just live for football, man. That's all it is, period.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right,
Worm's
well,
gonna love that.
we're gonna kick it off with this because Trevor wanted me to pull it up. We're gonna kick it off with this. Hold on. Bam. Just good way to start the show is by we ended the game.
Man.
First drops out in the coverage, fake coverage. Look at it. I love this defense, dude.
I love them. They're always attacking. They're always pinning their ears back. It doesn't matter from what position. Their ears are they're like taped back. They're not even allowed to come up anymore. Ryan Nielsen, the physicality we've been posting and reporting on all off season and this training camp, especially the videos we've got, which shout out for the love on that 12.8K. That short specifically, just Ryan getting in the face. You knew the physicality was going to be there. You didn't know who was going to translate it, and you may not have known what specific players were going to jump off the screen at you. But this defense is physical. They're really physical. And it goes back to the topic like Isaiah and Eric, where we've all been discussing, and Duval, we'll get your opinion on this soon. I'm going to kick it to you next, is over the years we've done things where we've had players that were really good but just never seemed to be good enough. They weren't game wreckers. They wouldn't take the game from people. And it seems to have haunted Duval. We've always had the ability, it felt like, to win a game. We just let people hang around too damn long. That was our problem. We'd never close the door. We might take a step ahead and then we leave them. We let them come right back in. I don't think that's the case anymore, and I think that's good. That's what we're looking for. So how are you feeling about that? What do you think you see from the defense, the physicality, and so on?
Yeah, no, it's been for sure. I'd have to agree with you. Their ears have been pinned back. It's definitely been physical. I like that he brings, more of a man coverage scheme. As far as that play that we just looked at, not too often do you see a big man fake going out in coverage and then be able to come back in that pursuit. To run the man down like a maniac was pretty impressive. But as an overall view of the defense, I really do like where they're going. I like that we're going big, fast, strong. It goes right along with what Trent Baalke wants to do with the draft. I'm excited for this season. I think that our defensive line is going to be a bright spot on this team in general. The way that they're rotating sometimes, from 4 to 8 guys, they're keeping guys fresh. You got guys like D Ham coming back. He's healthy. So guys like Eric Armstead, all these guys in the interior are going to be a handful. Even Roy Robertson Harris is still here. So you got a lot of guys in the interior that's going to be a handful, and it's going to allow, Trayvon and Josh to just pin their ears back, not drop back into coverage, and to go out there and get as many sacks as they possibly can. So I'm excited about it, man. And I appreciate you guys again having me on, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, brother. Oh, yeah. I think,
of course, welcome on, man, anytime.
Yeah, I think for me, something that I'm excited about, especially
anytime.
Love that you bring up the interior D line. We got fat boys that aren't going to play fat. And what I mean by that is we have so many big, huge interior defensive linemen that we don't have to leave Devon Hamilton out there for 3-4 plays in a row. We don't have to leave Eric Armstead out there for 3, 4, 5 plays in a row. We don't have to leave, Mason Smith, Roy Robertson Harris, whoever it is. We can rotate these guys. And, the size and physicality isn't a big drop off when you rotate those guys out. I think Jordan Jefferson showed that he can push guys around. I think Mason Smith showed that he can push guys around. Like I was saying before the show, he's kind of, for me, like a Trayvon Walker type guy. The way I'm watching him play, he always goes to his assignment. He doesn't leave his assignment to try and be a superhero. He's pushing guys around. He's filling gaps. Otomewo or Otoweno, however you say his name, he had a sack off of a stunt.
Whoa.
Big O had a sack off of a stunt where Mason Smith crashed down. They stunted around and he got to the quarterback. It wasn't like Mason Smith was trying to do like a fake stunt and get in his way. He played his job. He did his rep. He won that rep. Otomewo goes around, takes him out. I just think that it's awesome to have all these big guys, and even like Gaziano coming in, or Gaziano, big dude comes out there, like you mentioned Duval earlier, just running out, coming back in. I mean, we got a lot of big, athletic, talented guys with a lot of meat, a lot of weight, a lot of beef up front. I'm excited for it for sure.
What you got, Eric?
Oh, y'all waiting on me. Nothing. I'm just processing everything. I love our linebackers, man. From the way they've been flashing and moving. Oh, hell yeah. You sit there and watch it like, yeah, that's it. It's like they're moving more on instinct now, instinctively, than thinking about it, and that's what you need. I don't see too many of them standing out there flat-footed. They on the toes, they're ready. They moving, they looking. Oh, yeah, they ready. That's what I'm talking about. See, I got all excited then. Oh, my. Okay, but yeah. But you know what, though? We still got to talk about that old raggedy offensive line, man, because, oh, my God, that was a leaky thing the other night. I mean, it was pitiful. That's the video I sent you where I was trying to isolate the bad parts of it, Isaiah. Oh, man, that was just horrible. I'm like, well, here's the bright side of it. Those aren't the starters. Here's the bad side of it. If one of the starters go down, one of them cats may come in. So it's, oh, man. I'm like, oof. Yeah, but anyway.
Normally you're not worried if there's not much drop off between the starters and the backups, but I don't think that's a good thing in our case, to be honest, because it's something I'm worried about. Will it be too much for us to overcome? We'll have to see.
You ain't seen the one where Faulkner is just taking off, blocking hair.
Dude, I don't even want to.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing. Like he's blocking nobody, doing nothing.
No one.
But I got to say this though, before before we move on to this dog shit O-line, because I'm not gonna lie, I know we're gonna spend some time here because there are many glaring issues. I want to shine a bright light though, real quick, on our DBs as well and our safeties. Like, we can't talk about how electric and how physical this defense has been without talking about them as well. The first preseason game we saw a lot of loose tackling. We saw a couple guys just breaking through arm tackles. That did not happen in this second game. It got cleaned up in a 1-week translation like that. And it went from you were worried about one guy one-on-one open maybe here and there to people like Jarian Jones dropping from like 7 yards away from where the catch happened to allowing a minimum of 1 yard gain and a solid open field tackle one-on-one. And also, like, I will say, like, it's hard for me to completely evaluate the defense and the schemes and when they're losing reps and when they're winning reps based on whether it's them getting cooked man on man or whether it's just the quarterback beating a zone coverage that we have tried to throw at them in a mixed scheme.
Right.
You know, being at the game and trying to get footage and all. But I can say I have not seen one time our DBs get beat one-on-one man coverage yet. I've seen them get beat in a zone platform. I've seen them I've seen the offenses come up with zone beaters, and you're going to have them. If a defense plays zone, there's going to be holes. It's just up to the quarterback to find it before the defensive line finds him. I mean, and that's really the point there. But man coverage, I have not seen our DBs get cooked not one time. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but I can say this: I haven't seen it, and if I would, I've been in the stadium both games. If they would have gotten cooked that bad, it would have stood out. Also, on top of that, another thing that goes along with that is this is reminiscent of Saxonville. This has Saxonville written all over.
Especially with Gibson back. When you brought Gibson, when you sprinkle Gibson back in there, man, it feels like
Yeah, and that's where I was about to say is like, Duval, I know you've been a fan for a long time, so obviously you'll go first on this one as well too. Is like our defense, like I said, it's really menacing. We got a menacing front seven, and then our DBs are ready to just clamp down on anything. So how do you feel about the idea of the second rendition of Saxonville, and do you see the potential for this to be an even better rendition?
Well, with the addition of Armstead, it does feel a lot like Calais Campbell as well. I know there's been other people that have looked at it like that. I don't know if we can get the same amount of production that we got out of Calais Campbell that we got from that season, from 2017. But if we get anything like that, and it's not hard to imagine either, especially with those guys that we brought up earlier. If we get anything like that in the interior, I think that, Walker is just primed for such a big season. He had double-digit sacks last year. He only had 3 his rookie season, but then to hit double and then obviously Josh Hines-Allen had the 17.5. So, the sky is literally the roof, the ceiling, whatever you want, the moon. We could go out there and just go crazy. So the thought of Saxonville is really not that unreasonable, and it's exciting too. And I want to show that guy on that play love one more time. I know he's not a starter necessarily, but 21-7 looks so much better than if they would have scored again on that last drive, even though I know it's preseason too. I'm really excited he got that sack. Shout out to the guy, man.
Yeah. Playing through the whistle. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Good hustle.
Beautiful.
Pursuit amazing. He ran him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a freak of nature for sure. He was hauling ass.
Yeah. What you think, Eric? Saxonville back?
Yeah. I think this is a more balanced Saxonville than anything. Because I think you got a good mixture of youth and veteran leadership and, just determination. Because, whoo, Lord, that Mason Smith coming off the end, his first step is so nasty. I'm like, oh, man, once he really figure out the game, oh, my goodness, that boy's going to be scary.
Did you know that he's the youngest player on the roster with Cam Little? I didn't know that until today. I found out that they're buddies.
Really?
They go golfing.
Look at DUVALTV dropping some knowledge on here. That's what I'm talking about. Woo-hoo! You go, man.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
That was an Eric type fact right there. That was an Eric moment. That was definitely an Eric moment.
Random now.
Sure.
Random.
Yeah.
But Cam Little was the youngest draft kicker, obviously. So I thought it was when he said today, Mason Smith in a presser, he said, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm the youngest player on the team with Cam Little." I was like, "Really?" So when you're talking about his first step, and when he really figures out the game, when you realize how young he actually is, you're like, "Wow, this could all really come together." Trent Baalke, Matt, we're talking about here. So.
Yeah, he could have stayed another year too. That's what's impressive about him. He could have stayed another year. He came out anyways. We reached on him. I think that this one's going to be a very big, like, oh damn, like this could be another Trayvon Walker type pick where it's, oh shit, like, first year it might not seem like it, but second year people can be like, oh man, they really jumped on that one and they got a good one there. I think it's hard to say that he's going to be amazing or he's going to be bad right now. I think that he does have a good first step. He's very quick for a big guy of his nature. He moves really well. But I just think that, the fact that he's 21, he'll be 22 in October. That's kind of crazy, man. It's weird to think about. We got him, Jordan Smith. You got to think too, like before they're off their first contract, they could be this two starting guys replacing Eric and Ham, just depending on how well they're doing and what they can do. And honestly, they're very comparable to those two guys in size and strength. I think Jordan Jefferson is probably one of the strongest players on the roster, if not the strongest player on the roster. He hit 30.
Move the slips.
Dude. And one guy that I'm gonna switch this up to the O-line a little bit because it's just one guy that I hadn't seen much and I finally did, and I was very disappointed. Javon Foster did not look good.
No.
He got his ass beat a lot out there, and we haven't really seen him. I don't know if it was injury. I don't know what it was, but he got out there and he got whooped.
He got walked back. He got walked back to the quarterback
which
a few times.
I'm about to play the clip you sent me.
When I say walk back, he got walked back.
Yeah. I know it was either CJ or Mac tripped over him trying to escape one time.
Yeah, I think that was CJ.
But I'm gonna play this real quick. Where is? Oh shit! Hold on.
Hey, why are you trying
to do the whole screen?
Huh?
Yep.
What's
up?
I was going to say while you were trying to bring that up. You know how we're talking about how Mason Smith was too. I was trying to double check it here, but Trevor Lawrence is 24, and he's going into his fourth season, and he's only 1 year older than Stroud, so he's extremely young as well.
Yep, exactly. And Levis is older than all of them. Will Levis is 25.
Yeah, Grandpa Levis.
I thought that tied in well with all the ages.
Yeah.
Well, this is courtesy of Eric. Sent it to me out there the email. Got it.
Yeah. Watch. That's the first one. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That's just horrible, man.
And they gonna fall on him. They gonna follow him with his big ass.
Watch.
Oh no. Javon Foster got his ass toasted too.
Yeah, now watch this. Watch. He just gets
Foster did a split.
Man. Yeah. Now you know what? This wasn't a bad pocket.
After I got walked.
Yeah.
No, that one was him holding it for too long.
Yeah, because that's why I did the whole, because the pocket was there. He just held it too long and then bailed out the wrong way. But yeah, that was just the 5 sacks that happened actually, and I was like, really, this is what we doing, y'all? Okay, Foster is a rookie. Foster is a rookie. Okay, so he's still learning, and I'm sure he wasn't going up against another rookie on that side, so they kind of took advantage of him. But then again, you got CJ back there. CJ not a runner, so most of the time your lineman can take off and know he's going to be in one spot more than likely. But when it comes to Hodges and Shatley, man, come on, man. Come on. It just, because that was just, man, that was horrible.
But it didn't. I will say it didn't help him though that CJ looked like a lost fucking puppy. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, and it could just be me, but CJ has looked worse this preseason than I think we've ever seen him look. Like CJ has just.
I think the pressure is getting to him.
He had a couple highlight plays, huh?
I said I think the pressure is getting to him. I think he
I do
knows
too.
that. I think he knows he's not going to be sticking around, or if he does, it'll be as a reserve quarterback.
I think part of it is you see.
I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah,
part of it.
You see Mac Jones coming in, lighting it up with like 90+% in practices. Like, yeah.
Well, I'm sure CJ seen this coming. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like you see CJ, the only highlight plays he has is on underthrown passes that the receivers kind of made great plays on. And I mean, other than that, he's holding the ball too long. He doesn't even. It's looking to me from everything I'm seeing, it's looking like he's reading the first read, and he might catch his eyes across the second read before he panics, and then he's fucked. And I mean, I'm not going to say like I don't understand that you're not a starting level quarterback, so I'm not looking for you to probably make all 5 reads in a quick enough progression to make a solid play every time. But at the same time, you've been here long enough. You look terrible.
Yeah, but Trevor, you gotta be honest, dude. You see Mac Shiesty doing something like this right here. Look at him. Get out of here. Get this man a map.
He thought he was
Hey, all I'm saying is those off-season drills where he's been, hitting the stuff, doing. Oh, dude, Mac looks good, man. And I like Mac Jones. I do. Of course, I don't. Again, like I said earlier, I'm not delusional. I don't think Mac Jones is coming anywhere near the starting spot. I think Mac Jones is having the most fun.
Yeah, we're fully.
Oh yeah, fully committed. You don't give a guy all that money all those years if you're not. I think Mac Jones is having a lot of fun. I think he's enjoying his time. I think he's going to enjoy his time a lot as a quarterback, behind Trevor. And I think Mac Jones does have a lot of knowledge he can give to Trevor Lawrence as well. I don't think that this is another. He's a little bit older than Trevor. He played at Alabama a little bit longer than Trevor played at Clemson. He won a couple championships. Like he played with those receivers. He played with Belichick in that scheme. He's been with a lot of coaches that have a lot of experience. I think there is some stuff he can offer to Trevor and help out with and keep his head calm. I think too, they're friends. You see them, they're friendly. They're cheering each other on. They hang out outside of there. I think it's going to bring a cool, calm collectedness to both of them. I think he's a guy that can kind of help Trevor rally a little bit. I know Beathard was that guy, but I think he can probably identify with and kind of hang out with Mac a little bit more and kind of be a little more on the same page there. I just think that this O-line, man, like we were talking about, is it's going to be rough, and that's going to be the detriment to this team if there is one. I will say, though, I think Hodges had an overall decent night. I think that one rep definitely made it look a lot worse than it was because of how bad it was and how bad CJ got blown up on it. There were a couple reps, though, especially in the run game where he was playing well. I know Mac Jones threw one out to a receiver. I think Trammell was it. And you saw Cooper Hodges 15, 20 yards down the field after he caught it running down the field. He's a Mac truck when he gets moving. He moves good for his size. I think Hodges is good, but I think, again, him not taking reps last year after getting hurt, I think he's still a little rusty. But I will say he did not have as good of a game as I hope to see. Shatley, it sucks seeing that out of Shatley. He's played so well for us in recent years and previous years. He's done after this season, and there's a reason. He knows that he's not up there in performance anymore. He knows that he even if somebody gets hurt, he's probably not coming in until the next guy get hurt. It's going to be an interesting season, man. It's going to be weird to see. I just think that it's kind of one of those things where we're talking about, preseason. Oh man, I love Javon Foster. Watched his tape, super strong, All-American, and then he gets walked back and does a split. It's one of those things where things are changing. These boys are in the heat of battle now, and we're seeing them. Doesn't mean I'm giving up on any of them yet, besides CJ. I mean, it's kind of you have to with Mac Jones playing like he's playing, but.
I gave up on CJ last season in the Panthers game. I mean, that's when I gave up on CJ.
That was very disappointing.
The worst team in the league. Yeah, I gave up then. I'm not gonna lie. And not to mention, I think what makes the Hodge play look so bad is because very familiar to the type of shit we had going on when Trevor got hurt the first time. Is like a Walker Little is playing solid. He's not playing terrible, but he's still not good enough. And then he gets fucking walked back, and it fucked our entire season. It's little shit like that. You know what I mean? Like One really bad play like that is where it crosses the threshold to it's not good enough. You're not going to win every rep. We know that. And you're not going to – nobody's asking you to hold your block for 20-plus seconds every play. But at the same time, you cannot be getting blown up immediately at all. That's not good enough. Like, it's just not. You at least got to put some resistance up, even if it's just like a half a second. Like, get in the fucking way, dude. Do something. And I think that's the same thing we saw out of Walker Little last year, is just a couple too many times where he put no resistance. He just got fucking destroyed, and there was no resistance from him. Somebody's walking in the front door like they had the key to the lock. I mean, just bam, we're here now. And what is Trevor supposed to do with that? And I think that if there's anything that hinders this team this year, is like you said earlier, Isaiah, it's going to be this offensive line. There's no other gleaming weakness other than our offensive line. But one other guy we got to say, because we can't just point out Cooper and not point this guy out, or Javon, in the way that his tape looked good but didn't translate well so far. And I'll be the first one to say it, because I was the first one to praise this guy off of his tape and the things he was doing, is Joshua Cephas. Okay. I still personally, I love Joshua Cephas.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think if we let him walk, we are stupid. I do believe that. I believe the things that the errors he's made so far are correctable, and we have the wide receiver depth to carry him and show him and let him develop. Because I think one thing we are seeing through the preseason is that as much as we love Parker Washington, I do love Parker Washington. Okay. Huge Parker Washington fan. He does not have the speed to break the plays in the way that Kirk does. And that's what makes Kirk so good to be a comparable size, is his speed. Parker Washington does not seem to share the same speed. He's still fast, and he's got great elusiveness. But I think Parker Washington's going to shine much more on special teams than he ever will as a receiver. Joshua Cephas, however, I mean, Joshua Cephas has the ability. I think the moment got to him a little bit. You know what I mean? I think the lights got a little bit bright. And, hey, you're a rookie. That's not good enough. You're right. That's exactly what I was about to say. So I will say this. It's not good enough. But I'm not saying to give up on the kid either, because I'm not giving up on Javon Foster. He was an SEC All-American for a reason. He got blown up. He's going to figure it out. He's going to figure it out. And I think the same will be the truth for Joshua Cephas, because even on the plays, I can't say that Joshua Cephas was just a complete disappointment. I'll just say he hasn't lived up to the hype that we all thought he was capable of, because a couple times CJ just flat out missed him. There was a couple times CJ flat out just did not see him, because he was wide open on his own on a few different times. And I can remember, because I was watching him specifically to see what he's done. And, when I'm watching Joshua Cephas stand there alone, and then the ball finally does come at him and he drops it, that's not good enough. Absolutely not good enough. You can't have that. No. But you see the potential there in him by the fact that he's able to get separation to be on his own, which is something that we don't even see from Parker. When Parker's running out.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute, Trevor. All right. So here we go. Potential. Is potential still good enough now? Because at one time, that's all we was going on, potential, right? And Cephas doesn't have it. I mean, I love Cephas myself. I really do. Right. But he hasn't popped when it counted in game time.
You're right.
If you go back and look at the films, he can run a great route, but when the ball came to him, he dropped it. I mean, that's all we have on film in on our level. You understand what I'm saying? So then, then the question becomes, okay, now do we keep him because we do see the potential? We know what the potential is, or do we get rid of another receiver that has been performing, that pops on tape? I mean, on film, and the decision comes down to those two. Right, we got to take the one that's been popping, because not only
that's where.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, you lagged for a second. I thought you finished, but I was going to say I get where you're coming from on that, and I'm not saying that we keep one guy over another based off potential versus production, But I'm saying most of Parker's, not all, but most of Parker's production has been a special team type of pop. Because when you see him run routes as a receiver, he's making good contested catches, but we all know that that's not a consistency for any receiver. You can't always be consistent catching in contest. It just depends on the DB that's on you. As far as like creating separation, Parker has not really done that very consistently. Now, what I would suggest is I'm not saying that we can't develop players when I say not good enough. What I mean when I say not good enough is we've got these players that need the development in the first rotation. Like, that's who we're starting, and that's where I'm saying that, yeah, no, that's not good enough. We need to get some guys in here who are good enough and then develop these guys to replace them to be good enough. That was always our problem. We develop people for other teams, and that's a whole nother discussion. But I would suggest you put Parker in the special teams role. You let him flourish on his own in the special teams role, because Parker's been great as a receiver. We've all discussed this, you know what I mean? Like, he's been solid.
Right.
But at the same time, I think the way that a receiver of his size flourishes is the precision, sharpness, and speed of a guy like Christian Kirk. And he doesn't quite have the speed. It's yet to be seen whether he's got the precision or not. I mean, he's made a couple good contested catches. I'm not hating on Parker. I want to be clear on that. I love Parker Washington. But I love Parker Washington. But I am saying, though, regardless of how it turns out, I think that if we were to keep one of the two in the receiver-only position for development, I would keep Joshua Cephas, just based on how he's able to create separation already.
Okay.
You can clean up that kind of stuff. I'm not saying you throw him in with the ones. That is not what I'm suggesting whatsoever.
Okay.
But I feel like we could definitely put Parker in a special teams role where he's still developing both ways. And then, let Joshua flourish on his own in the receiver category. But we're seeing the message come through. So, Duval, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for stopping in, giving us your time, man.
Rookie mistake. I should have had a little bit more juice here. I'm waiting. I didn't want to just cut out, so I wanted to let you know at least. I had about 30%, but in the Charger, that's what I was fiddling with. I'm sitting here listening to you about Parker Washington. I'm like trying to get my cord here. I'm like, I need some juice. But no, I appreciate you having come on. I'll make sure I'm at 100% next time. And hey, man, thanks again. Go Jags, man. We come here, brother. 3rd and Teal.
That's right. Duval, baby.
All right, Duval, man. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thanks, man.
Have a good show, fellas.
All right.
Yeah, man. I personally, I think that Parker Washington has something that some of our other guys don't have, and I think we've got more guys that maybe do have this. But I think something we've seen that hurts us is that, like, when receivers have finished routes in the past, they finish the route. Whereas I feel like Parker Washington is one of those scrappy guys. He tries to get open. If nothing's open, he's going to try and fight back a little bit and find some open field. I think Parker Washington has better route running than people give him credit for. You got to remember, at Penn State, he was a deep threat. It wasn't like he was this like dump off screen, every single time. I think that, honestly, I think him and Christian Kirk have very comparable speed. I don't think that Kirk is necessarily faster if he's faster. I think that Kirk looks like he plays a little bit faster, mainly because, one, we see him more. Two, we've seen him in games more. But like, you remember, I mean, when Parker Washington came in, whenever Christian Kirk went out, I mean, he was open all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't matter. When he wasn't, he was going up for a ball and he was taking it away from whoever was trying to get it from him. I just think that, it's kind of hard to say at the end of the day, but I do think that he's going to be a great asset for us, both in the pass game and in the special teams game. I think somebody that is kind of surprised me a little bit, but it's definitely going to help out as well. It will help them. He's also Devin Duvernay. We don't necessarily need Parker Washington to blow up or Cephas to blow up for us. That's been nice. So I think that's been a nice surprise. I think they knew that coming in, that guy could play that role and that he will play that role well. I just think that, we got to kind of wait and see. God forbid we have another injury. But I think, realistically, the big issue there is, Cephas over Washington, the problem is you cut Cephas, you're a lot more likely to get him back. And I'm not saying you're saying to cut either of them. I'm just saying, like, if it comes down to it, you got to get rid of somebody. You're getting rid of Cephas. And also, too, in the depth chart rotation, everything, Parker Washington's listed as number 2 right behind Christian Kirk. So he is Christian Kirk's direct backup, and he has been since last season. So, again, it's tough for me to think that, you know, if Cephas continues to play like he has, that we try and keep him around. If we do, it's going to be on the practice squad, or we might try and keep him on the roster and then demote him to the practice squad when the season starts. I don't know with him yet. I want to see more. A big thing about wide receivers as well is, you know, coaches are going to see it on tape if they're open. So if what you're saying is true, there were some reps where he was open and CJ missed him or didn't throw it to him, coaches are going to see that. We don't see that. The big thing is coaches are also going to see the one opportunity he gets, he turns around and he fumbles the ball and it gives away. So, you know, you got to kind of take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. I think it's going to be interesting to see how we evaluate these guys going forward. I think, again, you know, like we've talked about, this is a problem we have not had in a long time, and it's a good problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited, man. It's tough. You know, it's tough to think that we've got to make cuts, and we got to get down to a certain amount of people. And there's going to be some people that are going to be really upset that their favorite long shot player, or favorite hidden gem, or favorite whatever is not on the team this year. So it's going to be interesting. I think something we got to realize too. That Degura dude, he's been playing well. Trammell started playing well. Trammell played well that game. Now I do feel like Trammell's more one of those guys where he's one of the ones kind of like what's his name, Williams, where he plays well in the preseason. He may get on the team if like people get like, you know, he needs to be activated for a week or two, like kind of like Tim Jones. But it's just it's tough, man. There's so many good guys playing well. I mean, it's a good problem to have.
It's a very good problem to have. Yeah. For once, we actually have a team that we feel good about no matter what. But then again, oh man, if that offensive line can hold up, they don't have to hold up long. That's what. But see, and I was thinking about this as we was talking earlier. We really haven't seen the number 1 offensive line on the field together yet.
This is true.
We've seen mixed matches and 2nd and 3rd and 8th and 9th. I mean, I don't know what they were the other night, but man,
they were,
you know, and
bad is what they were.
It's just, you know, and that's why you can't really get too over excited or depressed about it, because you haven't seen the starters yet, the ones that's going to carry. Now, we know what the backups look like, so we know how important it is for our starters to stay healthy now. You know, and as you know, maybe as the season goes on, the youngsters begin to pick up a little bit. So
I want to say this too for everybody watching before we get comments about it or anything else like that. None of us are saying that Parker Washington should be off of this team. We have all individually championed that we are strong in the belief that Parker Washington is the direct Christian Kirk replacement following Christian Kirk's exit from Duval. Okay. We have all championed that. We've all are fully sold on that. We have discussed this numerous times. I love Parker Washington. I mean, go back and watch the old videos. I've said how much I love Parker Washington. I also, you know, I didn't even think about it until you mentioned him, but like, I would rather us carry a Joshua Cephas than a Tim Jones or an Elijah Cook. To be honest with you, now, because to be honest with you, like Tim Jones already produced less last year than I've seen Joshua Cephas do, even with his fuck ups. I don't know. It's hit or miss for me with Tim Jones. It just depends, I guess, on the day. But that's anybody. Every dog's gonna have his day. Okay.
Right.
But I think that's also the case with a guy like you just mentioned, Tramwell. Personally, I feel like if he makes the 53, he's a wasted spot. I'm going to say that because he played really hard to make up for his mistake last game. But I just know it in my heart for some reason. No one is taking him from the practice squad. And he's not going nowhere. If Tremolo goes to the practice squad, I believe he'll stay there until we need him. You know what I mean? Because he shined, but he shined against really bad DBs that left him wide open, like standing on his own sometimes. You know what I mean?
That is a point.
So, and that's where it also comes into play where you just said you can't get too hyped or too depressed. It is preseason.
Right.
And that's where I think, because earlier in the game when some of the higher string players were in, Tremolo was getting busted up. And he also couldn't catch a cold in the middle of Antarctica. And then he heated up and he went good. He went off. I mean, props to him for that. But, all this to be said, this should bring on the next topic we got to talk about. Christian Kirk is not playing Friday because you guessed it, an injury.
His
calf.
And that's a good thing. It's a calf injury. And trust me, I've had one of those.
It's a good thing to pull him out. Right.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to sit him out. And I mean, yeah, it is precautionary. But then, you start to think about this. I don't remember a single time before his groin injury, Christian Kirk being hurt at all. He seemed to just endure shit and be fine. You know what I mean? Now, I'm glad that we're being precautious with it. But I think it may be maybe it's a hot take, I guess. It would be more of a hot take because, there's no way to know. But I think this could be a glimpse into we're coming into that exit period of the Christian Kirk era. I'm not saying within this season or the next one, but I'm saying people should start
paying
coping
attention
with that.
Yeah,
paying attention to that and coping with it because,
his contract's up after this
like
year.
I said, his contract is up after this year. And if we're already holding him out precautionary in preseason, which is a good thing, but at the same time, that's kind of a scary thing. You just came back from injury. And now you've got a whole separate thing that we're holding you out for. This is a whole different injury to a completely different area. And I'm not saying that it's bad. I mean, he's getting older. He's not getting any younger. He's not necessarily old, but he's not getting any younger,
Man, a calf injury is a calf injury. I don't care what you say.
Right. And it hurts. It's painful. So,
yeah,
I mean,
very much so.
I'm glad we're holding them out. I'm glad we're finally being smart with players. But, I mean, at the same time, like I said, I think it could be a glimpse into what the future holds for us and Christian Kirk, especially the fact that they know we have a Parker Washington sitting right behind him. I mean, there's no way they can ignore Parker Washington at this point. I feel like he got ignored last year, even with the success he had. We've all discussed that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say ignored, but definitely underutilized. And definitely, I don't think got earned. I don't think he got as many touches as I feel he earned. Because he did the most with almost every opportunity he was given, which is why, to reiterate again to you people, we love Parker Washington. But, that being said, I think that makes it harder to extend Kirk on any kind of big deal, if anything more than a 1 or 2 year, especially if he has another injury-riddled season, whether it be minor stuff here and there or one more big injury, because then you start to question his durability. And then you start to question, how much longer can he do this? And we've got Parker Washington, who is in his prime right now. He is right here, and he's made the most of every opportunity we've had. So I think if Christian Kirk exits within the next couple of years due to injuries or whatnot, it'll solely be because Parker Washington is that good. You know what I mean? He's good enough to make them make that decision, because they'll feel comfortable to leave that position and that spot in our offense to Parker.
Right.
So who knows? I mean, I don't want to see Kirk go anywhere. I love Christian. But at the same time, availability is the best ability.
Right. That's it. You got to remember, it's a business, and your body needs to be out there on the field. I when you put it that way, I understand. But I can tell you, them calf injuries, man. Oh Lord, I did mine playing softball. All them things take a while to heal. So I'm glad they're holding them out. I'm sure if it was like the first or third game of the season, yeah, he would be able to play. But why not? It's the preseason game. I need to see more out of my young wide receivers anyway. Maybe a couple of them get put out there with Trevor in the first team in the first half and see what you got. And from there, I don't know if I understand wanting Trevor to play. this last game, but a whole half. Well, I guess it depends on the offensive line. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah, because this will be the starters.
I think the whole half thing is to get through the first script. They script the first 2 drives. And that's all we've seen from Trevor. That's all we've seen. We've seen the first 2 drives, and he looked really fucking good.
Yeah, but I think also it depends on the productivity of the offense. If they go down and score the first 2 times, I don't think they'll play a whole half. I really don't.
I think he'll play the whole first quarter, regardless of how good or bad they do. Right. I think he's going to play the first quarter. But if they come out and bust open a 21 or 14-point lead in the first quarter, he's done. He's done. But at the same time, I can say this. Even players like Patrick Mahomes played last week where Trevor and the starters didn't. Now,
that's true.
I love it. I love letting Trevor rest because he's shown us everything we needed to see throughout last week. He was a fucking assassin with the football last week. Okay, and I mean, that being said, I don't actually. It's CJ Stroud played. I mean, almost everybody's starters played a little bit. We're the only ones who didn't. So I think are not the only ones, I'm sure, but we're the only ones that I noticed who didn't play starters at all last week for the most part. I think that also
practices though.
Yeah, they had joint practices.
Yeah, they had joint practices too. Yeah, okay. Most of the league participated in joint practices last week. But regardless, I mean, I think that also plays into them playing an entire half decision. Okay, we held you out the whole game last week. You had a chance to sit back. We got a chance to see a lot on our rookies. Now let's see how our rookies play in the plug-in position because that's essentially what they're going to be. Everybody except for BTJ, for the most part, and Jarrian Jones. Jarrian Jones is starting as well, and so DeAndre Prince might even start. Who knows if it just depends on how he does. But those are the only 2 I think that we can say 100% are starting. Is Jarrian Jones and BTJ. So everybody else, let's see how they plug in with the ones. Let's see how they run with them because they can run against the backups all day and they can run with the backups all day, but that's not running with the ones. That is not running with the big dogs. That is not playing at Trevor Lawrence's pace. That's not playing at his cadence, his ball pass, his speed. Let's put them in there. Let's see how they do real time because this is where we're going to actually use them. This is what they're going to be here for. Let's see how they do it. And then I think it also goes to play too. You want to sharp, you keep your knives sharp, and Trevor Lawrence has been literally a carving knife this whole time. And I think it just goes to show that we need to keep the knife sharp. We're coming up on week 1. Give him a chance to pick on a team. Let him go pick on the Falcons a little bit. Let him go boost the shit out of his confidence.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. I'm not saying anything else. I'm good. That makes sense, though, Trevor. That was good. And we shall see. We shall see. They hope the defense does the same thing because I want to see that defense in full motion with everybody. Yes, I want to see it rocking and rolling.
I think the major difference this year too versus last year, where last year every time our team stepped on the field, we knew we were able to win the game, but I was not individually excited to see any one position or skill group. I was actually worried. I was worried because I knew it could go either way. Already this year, I am beyond excited to see our defense take the field every fucking time.
Yes.
Every time.
You said Jar's gonna start. What Jar is starting at? Because they said Savage ready now.
Savage did take the red no contact off. Yeah. I think if anything, Savage. I think they might go back on their plan to keep Antonio starting. And I mean, I can't say that for sure. It's just a guess, but I'd say it'd be because of the way Antonio did perform throughout the preseason so far. He wasn't terrible, but he was not
right.
It was wishy-washy here and there.
Right.
Jarrian's played very well. There's no way you take Jarrian off the field. If you give him this season to develop and continue to grow in what he's already been able to put on the field in the preseason, he has the potential to be one of the best corners in the league by the end of the year. I really do think he has the potential to be another Jalen Ramsey, and I'm so serious. Okay. His open field tackling, he's aggressive. He's sticky, like he sticks to him like glue, and he doesn't give up on the play even when they've got the ball already. Like, and those are all good things, you know. So,
right.
You know, that being said, there's no way that they take him off the field. And if they do, I mean, they must see something that we don't. But from everything we've seen, no way Jarian Jones is not starting. No way.
Okay. All right. We shall see. We shall see.
We also got another problem too, Terrell Edmunds.
Yeah.
Where do you put him?
Yeah.
Where do you put him? You can't tell me he doesn't deserve to start. That guy's been laying the fucking wood and covering everybody. You can't tell me Terrell Edmunds does not deserve to start somewhere. Like,
where does he start at?
But you know, it's just another example of we've got too many good options, and that's the problem we've never had, or we've had, but not in a long time. And it's very good. Or the same thing with, you know, Tashawn Gibson. Where do we put him?
I don't know.
Where do you put him?
Yeah. Golly. So it's gonna come down to a numbers thing. That's what it's gonna come down to. You know, how many receivers we want to keep.
If we're smart, we know that these older DBs are going to be willing to start taking lower contracts the later years of their career. Okay.
Right.
If we're smart, we work our cap space to where we can keep them on short, cheap deals and do the same thing that we were just talking about doing with our D line. We don't have to leave these guys hanging out there for 5 to 6 plays in a row.
Right.
We don't have to. We've got the depth. We don't have to do it. And I think if we're smart, we do that because every one of these DBs we've just discussed are very capable players in their respective positions. They are very capable, very good. They're all at some point and to a degree a starting level in their position. So I think if it's me, I'm finding a way to keep everybody.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest with you, because I've seen enough players like come in and out that weren't worth a fuck that that are going to be easy decisions to cut when it comes down to shaving down to the 53. But as far as like the guys we're talking about, you make them 1 and 2s. Like pull some stuff like they used to pull in Pop Warner. Like, I mean, like, you know, how you got red defense and gold defense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so serious. And it would, I don't see how it doesn't make sense. Not like to you guys, but like, I don't see how it wouldn't work. I mean, you've got vets and studs at almost every position.
Right. Exactly.
And if you keep Antonio, Darnell, and Terrell Edmunds, you've got 4 people there that's interchangeable for both free and strong.
Yes. Right.
And then on top of that, Tashawn can plug in.
Yes.
And then the DBs, if you want to drop Darnell to a DB, you've got Tyson Campbell. I'm going to be honest with you. I never want to see Monteric Brown take the field again. No, I'm just kidding. He's got potential. He does.
Yeah.
You know, you got obviously Tyson Campbell. Then you got Jarian Jones. And then you got Darnell Savage. You got Trey Flowers, which Trey's made some plays, but he's missed others. That, you know, who knows how? I mean, he has some stuff he could clean up. He's a vet. He's very capable of cleaning it up. And then what? You put Darnell there. And that's 5 DBs, right? So you think about it. Traditionally, you're running 3 and 2 safeties. So you could always be switching it. And having 2 solid players to rotate in is always good. So, I mean, there, like I said, if it's me, this is what I'm starting. I'm putting, obviously, Andre Cisco. And then besides Cisco, I think based off of play, I'm putting Terrell Edmunds next to him. Because Terrell Edmunds he's just been that good. Like, you can't deny it, man. Like, he's been sticking to everyone and boom-sticking the fuck out of anyone holding the football. He's exactly what you want in a safety. I mean, he's doing everything you want him to do. So I'm putting Cisco Edmunds. And then I'm going Tyson Jarian. And then I'm going Darnell. And, you know, that's really what you got. You got your 3 there and your 2 safeties. I mean, that's what I'm going for. I'm going Darnell Savage, Tyson Campbell, and Jarian Jones. Those are my 3 corners and my 2 safeties, unless we go, you know, dime, nickel, whatever, depending on the package. Then you bring someone else in. But, you know, and at that point, you don't have to leave your safeties in for an entire drive. You've got Antonio Johnson. You've got Tashawn Gibson. You've got Darnell Savage, who is also capable of going up there, but if he's playing a starting DB or corner role, then you don't put him there. And that's right. Already two capable and very solid safeties to rotate in. And then you look at your corner position. Then that leaves who? You got Monteric Brown, who does show promise, even though he doesn't act like it sometimes. And then you've got DeAndre Prince. And I mean, I don't see how, like I said, all to bring it back to what we originally mentioned is I don't see how Jarrian Jones doesn't start, especially after what he was able to put together last week.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, then, that makes sense. Trevor once again for the score. And they got rid of Gregory Jr. this week, too, which is interesting. Yeah. I know I hadn't heard.
I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, everybody we just mentioned, he did have potential. But with everybody we just mentioned, where does he fit?
Right.
Because he's older than Monteric Brown is. And Monteric Brown, him being younger, there's more time to develop him and not have to pay him before you see what he is or isn't.
Yes. Hey, once again, everything we mentioned goes back to having a great problem we haven't had in a long time, man. I mean, just the players you look at 90, got to get down to 53 by the end of next week? Well, week after. Anyway, that's
the end of next week.
That's a lot of movement going on. Yeah, that's a lot of movement going to be going on. A lot of movement.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right. Look, y'all, don't get too upset if you see somebody you really like. Get the chop. Because
you also got to know, too, the chop doesn't necessarily mean they're not with us anymore. The chop probably means you're going to the practice squad. And we're just going to hope no one comes to steal you.
Right. It took me a lot of time to realize the Chiefs could actually do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a secret cheat code in their back pocket. Yeah, we cut you, but did we really? You're still here.
Exactly. Yeah. And you got the other team spied. They're like, okay, is he going?
Yeah, don't pack your bags.
Yeah, you're not on the 53, but you better not fucking move. We know where your house is. Like, you better stay right here. But it's at the same time, it's also good because, like, and I'm going to say this because honestly, at this point, it's a good thing to have with the players and talent we've brought in the building we've done this offseason. I don't want to see Tim Jones on the field. I don't want to see a Gregory Jr. on the field, and I damn sure don't want to see Monteric Brown unless we have to. Last year, we had to put those guys on the field. Not necessarily because we wanted to, but because we had no other fucking choice in some sets. Like in some games, we had to. Now we don't have to. I don't want to see those fucking guys on the field anymore. And I don't want to see a mediocre ass fucking CJ Beathard anymore either. And if Mac Jones being a stud didn't already seal that for him, the injury he just sustained did.
Yeah. Well, I think there was no doubt Matt Jones number 2. There was no doubt about that.
Get greedy. I just hope we don't get greedy
just from film of CJ last year. Huh? No, that's what I'm saying. We was talking before. Heck no, you don't trade him at all. No. Now, unless it's one unbelievable offer, but other than that, no.
The only way I could see a trade that I wouldn't like blow my top about is for a signature lineman, offensive lineman of some stature, like a really good lineman. We're not talking like some fucking third stringer that may have some potential, kind of a project player. Like, get fucked.
Right.
No, because we know what Mac Jones is. I think Mac Jones in any system that wasn't Bill Belichick's is still a starter. I'm just going to be honest from the play he gave. I mean,
I kind of believe
he showed everything.
I can get on that. I can get on that ship right there. I can get on that ship. Yeah. Yeah.
And as great as Bill Belichick was, there's a reason he's not a head coach anywhere right now. I'm just being honest. He was great, and he had a great run, and him and Brady were perfect for each other. But I think as soon as Brady was gone, you saw very clearly who made the New England Patriots the New England Patriots. Okay, it became glaringly evident. Mac Jones had early success, but I think that was because, again, nobody was prepared for him either. The same thing that I think will eventually catch up to C.J. Stroud. I don't think it'll catch up to C.J. Stroud as hard as it did Mac Jones in New England, but, I mean, I still think it'll catch him too, as nobody was really prepared for him and how good that he was. And the same thing was the case for Mac in his first year and a half. But, I mean, you look at what Mac Jones has been doing with playing with us, man. Like, it's not – I'm not saying he's going against the best defenses that these teams have to offer, but at the same time, C.J. Beathard was also getting destroyed by these same people.
Right.
And Mac Jones is fucking slicing them up like you would see a starter do to a second-string defense.
You know, it goes back to something we were saying earlier, though. You know, here he's a backup. There's a whole lot less pressure being a backup than there's being a starter, especially for somebody that's trying to take Tom Brady's spot. You know, that Bill Belichick as your head coach. I mean, you know, that's a lot of pressure on anybody. So, and plus, he's home. He's home, you know, the place he grew up at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it also. He has no pressure. He can relax and play ball now. You know, you see him at the practices running around just free and loose. And then he get in the game and terrorizes defenses. So, yeah. Keep it going, man.
I think we'll still see CJ Beathard and Duval too. I think CJ will end up on the practice squad. And I don't think he's not going anywhere because at this point in his age and the production that he doesn't give, no one's going to pick him up, I don't think, off of our practice squad. I'd be very surprised. It would take a very depleted quarterback room for somebody to reach on CJ, in my opinion. So I think you see CJ on the practice squad. Mac Jones obviously carried on the roster as QB2. But other than that, man, I mean, I think we've seen enough right now to know that we have way more promise this year than we did last year.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Because I don't think anyone actually saw that 8-3 start last year. You know, that was kind of shocking. No. So, you know, whoo. And we weren't expecting that. So this team here staying healthy, offensive line doing their job, we should be pretty good. Should be pretty good.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
it does beat the hell out of going, okay, how much we're gonna lose by today? Or at least if we just score 14 points, I'll be happy for the day. You know, we passed those days now, and that's a wonderful thing. Okay, maybe that was me just saying maybe if we score 14 points, I'd be happy. But you know, that's just how bad it was, though.
They were the dark days in Duval.
Yes.
They were there.
Yes. So without a doubt.
Well, I think we're at a good stopping point here. I think we got a good bit on there. We'll be back for our reaction episode later this week. We'll be dropping this one Monday night tonight. And yeah, it was a pleasure as always. Shout out Worm.
Shout out Worm.
Yeah, you boys got anything else to say?
Duval!
Yeah, as Eric said, but hey, y'all go check out the new socials, man. Go give them all a like, follow, share with your friends.
Yeah. Got to go and do that myself. All right.
Sir. Signing off.
Yeah, make it happy. Make it happen.